Kara Swisher, well known to all of you, of course, of Recode. Kara, you there?
Hi, yeah, I'm here.
You want to put this into perspective, somebody who's followed this company in this space for an awfully long time?
Yeah, there's a lot going on here. Obviously, China's at the top of the line. I mean, the market in China and the pressures in China. And Apple is one of the successes of Apple was being successful in China, and so they're seeing the downside of a market that's contracting there. The second thing is the lack of products. You know, the innovation cycle has slowed down at Apple. I just replaced my iPhone just last week, and my kids, but I didn't rush towards it. It just was on. We were on the upgrade system, so I think there's not exciting products, and that's one of the part is where is the new innovations coming out of the mobile market, and this is primarily iPhones. I think is what you're seeing here, and then it's the pressures of all these trade talks and the market itself being so hard for companies. And so you're going to see this impact on companies like Apple, who are big consumer products companies, essentially. And then throughout tech, going forward, was where is the innovation cycle for the next great group of products? And is there the economy to support it?
You know, Kara, Tim Cook has always, in some respects, had to, fight his way out of Steve Jobs' shadow amid megaphone calls that he's not innovating enough. And that he's not leading the company enough into the future, that it's so reliant on the iPhone, even though their services business, as we both know, is growing dramatically. Does that get underscored on a night like tonight?
No, I don't think so. I think they've done really well since that. And Steve Jobs has been gone a long time. It was a tragedy when he died, obviously. But I think he's been doing a great job with the company since then, running at the company. But I think all of these companies, whenever someone the other day was asking me about Apple, and I said it's the product cycle. Like, where is their exciting new products and where are there exciting new entrepreneurs within that company? I mean, this group has been together a long time, and I'm not meaning to call them old. It's just they've had so many hits. You're kind of, I always, you think of them as like this amazing rock band who's just been doing the hit after hit after hit. And so they've got to see what is the new product coming, and is there one from this group? And at the same time, the stuff that Tim Cook has done with that company is astonishing in terms of running the company and making it, such an enormous economic powerhouse. But they're like anyone else. Reality hits when something in China is going wrong, or the economy, or there's trade talks. They're not immune from this unless they had the product everybody has to have.
Hey, Kara, there's a lot of blame being placed right now on China, but when you think about services, Tim Cook's trying to spend a lot of time in that interview on services. When you think about services, and you think about maybe a quarter of their services annually come from Google and their traffic acquisition, and then maybe about a third from Apple Care. Isn't that exciting of a business? I just don't get it, especially with a slowing user base.
Well, no, people use these things. I don't think that, listen, that's a lot of money, right? Why would you turn that down? And these Apple and Google and all these companies are very melded together because it's an entire service, right? Like everything works together. I think what you have to think about is like I had lunch with Tim not too long ago, and he talked a lot about AR. So, but where is that right now? It's a long time away. When is AR? This is augmented reality coming. When are some of the other, when are these services going to get even bigger? Where are their sweet spots for the future? And where is technology? I'm writing about this week in the New York Times, so I'm thinking about it a lot. Where is innovation coming from not just Apple, from Google, from every one of these companies? The only one that seems to be consistently innovative recently has been Amazon, which is always coming out with something really interesting. And they're getting, they're still getting hit here in this sell-off and everything else. So, I don't know where innovation is coming from. A lot of it is coming from China. And when you have the economy tanking in some ways, you're all gonna be pulled down by this.
Should we be focusing more on the company's fight with Qualcomm as well, which we really haven't discussed it in any sort of great detail this evening, but maybe it's having much more of an impact in and of itself than we've thought?
I'm not so sure about that. I think that they've been in fights with lots of people at Oracle and others for a long time. Not at Oracle, I'm sorry, but it's. I think the bigger issues is what is the great product and how is the economy faring? Apple is a company that does well in a strong economy because people have money to spend. It's a more expensive product. They're selling products as opposed to free services or depending on advertising. And that was a big thing Tim talked about is we are not in the advertising business, which is a plus when it comes to the problems Facebook is facing, right? But it's a minus when it comes to people making spending decisions. And it's an expensive product. And so if they don't have the newest, hottest product, they have to sort of rely on people replacing and replenishing and things like that. So I think that's where the problems really are, is right what they're saying.
Yeah, you had one analyst tonight say, in his words, it was a dark day for Apple. Kara, you have to wonder if this is one of those moments that, months, if not years from now, you're going to look back on it and remember this night. It's hard to remember a time where Apple made a revenue cut of this magnitude and dropped such a bomb on the market.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. This is a company we expect nothing but, rainbows and unicorns from all the time, right? They never disappoint, and they always outgun them. They always win. And so I think when it's a part of a broader tech question. Is this the time when tech starts to falter again? All these companies, their advertising businesses, whether they're product businesses, and again, where does the next great wave come from? And I think that's what's interesting to me is that idea of what is the next. Mobile has taken us a long way and made a lot of people really wealthy, right? And it's made a lot of investors really wealthy. So mobile is being played out. So what is the next innovation cycle that's going to do what mobile did? And that's been what? It's been since 2004. That's 15 years of up kind of stuff.
Kara, stay with me, if you would.
Okay.
The futures have been open for about a minute, since the top of the hour, about 30 minutes. I just want to recap where we stand right now. There's your picture. Futures thinly traded. Not a lot of volume, as you know. I just want to underscore that so you don't think that this is the gospel that you're looking at, and this is the way that the market's going to open in the morning. But right now, the Dow would open, Apple a Dow component. Apple would open lower by about 300 points. That is off the worst levels of this early session. Of course, there's the S&P 500. We showed you the NASDAQ, which you might expect could be getting hit a little bit harder because of the tech-heavy weighting of the NASDAQ. Kara, I've got the gang here. I'm sure everybody wants to get in on this conversation with you as well. Tim?
Hey, Kara, it's Tim Seymour. So my question would be, we debate all the time whether the Chinese market is really ready for a $1,000 phone. Can you discuss your view on either philosophically or demographically whether they're barking up the wrong tree?
No, they're not. They've been doing great in China for a long time. It's just not now, right? I mean, I think China's embraced Apple products for a long time. And so this is they've been there forever, right? And most American companies don't do well. I think they're the only one that are really deeply in China and making money there. Others contemplate it or they do badly. So they've been doing well. I think it's just that the market in China is contracting for all kinds of reasons, including these trade talks, which have hit everyone and are disastrous, really. And Tim Cook has talked about this as other leaders, like what's going on with these trade talks. And so they enjoyed the upswing, and now they're exposed here in a way that other companies aren't. And so you're going to see that. And again, these upgrade cycles, I literally just upgraded. I forget when the phone came out. And I might not have done it had it had cost almost nothing. I had already paid off my phone. You know what I mean? I didn't rush to get it like I did previously because it wasn't that fresh, right? So that's another issue.
Kara, I'm going to lob you a political question of sorts in the way that you think about sort of the relationship between this administration and corporate America, specifically technology companies. Do you think the administration underestimated the impact of the trade war in China, maybe thinking that China was going to capitulate sooner? How do you think about that question tonight when you see the impact of what Apple has told us?
I think China can wait us out, and that's what they're doing. They're obviously being impacted, but China plays the long game, and I don't think the Trump administration plays, the 4-second game. I think it's a really interesting problem. I think it was thoughtless. It's been thoughtless. Most of these things, all of them have been. And so the question, these corporate leaders have been warning about this. It's not that we shouldn't, look, some people in Silicon Valley agree with the Trump administration around some of the incursions by China, some of the copyright stuff, some of the trade stuff, but the way it's been done has been disastrous for a lot of these companies, and especially the mood on Wall Street. When everyone starts saying the word recession, you kind of get to right? It's a mentality that builds. And you can't forget these are all emotional. Markets are emotional, and so I think the emotions have been we're headed for trouble, and especially with the rhetoric that comes out of Donald Trump every day on Twitter, which I wrote about last week. He's governing by Twitter.